What if I told you the biggest music streaming platform in the world might be facing the beginning of its decline? This is the story of how Spotify, once seen as the savior of the music industry, is now battling financial pressure. Artist backlash, massive layoffs, and brutal competition. Is Spotify collapsing? Or is this just another evolution in the tech world? Let's rewind to the beginning. Spotify was founded in 2006 in Sweden by Daniel Ek and Martin Lorentzon. At that time, the music industry was in chaos. Piracy was everywhere. CD sales were collapsing because of platforms like Napster and torrent sites. Spotify introduced a simple but revolutionary idea: free, legal, instant music streaming. Their model was smart. Free version with ads. Premium subscription without ads. Spotify launched globally in 2008 and expanded into the US in 2011. From there, growth exploded. In 2018, Spotify went public on the New York Stock Exchange in a direct listing. It was valued at billions. For many people, Spotify looked unstoppable. But beneath the surface, cracks were already forming. Here's the core issue. Spotify doesn't own the music. It must pay massive royalties to major labels like Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, Warner Music Group. Nearly 70% of Spotify's revenue goes straight back to rights holders. That leaves razor-thin profit margins. Now compare that to Apple with Apple Music, Amazon with Amazon Music. These companies can afford to lose money on streaming because they have massive ecosystems, hardware, cloud services, retail, and more. Spotify doesn't. It lives and dies by streaming revenue. And then came another problem: artists. Many musicians have publicly criticized Spotify for extremely low payouts per stream. Some even pulled their catalogs in protest. The company that once saved music was now accused of underpaying artists. To reduce dependence on music royalties, Spotify made a bold move. They went all-in on podcasts. In 2020, Spotify signed an exclusive deal with Joe Rogan for the Joe Rogan Experience. The deal was reportedly worth over $100 million. Spotify also acquired multiple podcast production companies for billions of dollars. The strategy was clear: own the content, avoid paying music royalties. But things didn't go smoothly. Joe Rogan became the center of controversy over COVID-19 misinformation. Several artists protested and removed their music from Spotify in response. Instead of escaping controversy, Spotify walked into a new storm. In 2022 and 2023, reality hit hard. Spotify announced massive layoffs, cutting thousands of employees. The reason? Cost control and slowing growth after the pandemic boom. Its stock price dropped significantly from its peak. Investors began questioning whether Spotify's model was truly sustainable. Even Daniel Ek admitted the company expanded too aggressively during the pandemic. Growth slowed, costs ballooned, competition intensified. Spotify was no longer the only dominant force. Now look at the battlefield. Apple, YouTube, with YouTube Music, Amazon, each backed by trillion-dollar ecosystems. If there's a pricing war, who survives longer? Probably not the pure-play streaming company. Spotify lacks the diversified revenue streams of big tech competitors. That makes it vulnerable. Here's the truth. Spotify is not collapsing tomorrow. It still has hundreds of millions of active users worldwide. Its recommendation algorithm remains one of the strongest in the industry. But warning signs are clear. Thin margins, heavy reliance on labels, content controversies. tech giant competition. The era of explosive, easy growth is over. Now Spotify must prove it can survive, not just grow. In tech, dominance can disappear faster than anyone expects. And the question remains, will Spotify adapt? Or will this be remembered as the beginning of its downfall? What do you think? Is Spotify still the future of music streaming? Or is it slowly losing its crown? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. See you in the next one.